Welcome back to Mark Hollow's The Vlog, everybody. Today we are in the Jaguar. That's right, we're going to go for a spin. Why? Because it's sunny out there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I can't help but think that, these are the ideal conditions to drive one of these great cars. Now, with that said, the question is, do you drive one of these F Types? I know a lot of you guys out there, I've seen in the forums, I'm part of some of the forums, that some of you guys enjoy just leaving it for that Sunday drive and keeping it tucked away in the garage and polished. And I can appreciate that because often that's kind of how I roll with the Lambo. But I do believe that you want to enjoy these cars. So do you daily drive them? And are you worried about the whole thing of wear and tear? Are you worried about breakdowns and all of that? Well, let's talk about it. Let's go for a quick spin and we'll explain. Whoa. Yummy. Let's go. So there's those days that I just like to get in the car, crank the music and go for a rip. And then sometimes, of course, when you've got the dynamic mode on, yeah, you turn the music down a little bit because the sound of the engine is all the music you ever need. Whoa, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So what do you do with these cars? Do you drive them every day? Well, I really do believe that they're worth driving every day. And I know most of you guys saw my video from last week, and I talked about the failures, the things that can go wrong with these F-Types. The thing I'd like to put in perspective is they do fail. There's things that break and there's common failure points. But it doesn't matter what you're driving. You could be driving a BMW and they leak like a sieve, or drive a Ford and they burn. The point is, use these cars every day. I like to get behind the wheel and enjoy the sights and the sounds. So the real question is, should you guys drive your F-Type R here daily? Well, why wouldn't you enjoy this experience right here? Oh! So the question about driving these cars daily, it's a good question. The short answer I would say is yes. But the daily drive isn't always glamour. I mean, we always have these romance, and I know I used to have this romantic thoughts in my mind about what it's like to own a supercar. Even an F-Type R, they're so good. They're so fast, they look sexy, and as a matter of fact, they go like there's no tomorrow. They also produce some of the best sounds. So, can you really enjoy these cars to their fullest on a day-to-day grind? I mean, you get stuck in busy traffic. We all have our day-to-day activities, whether it's picking up the kids from school, whether it's, we have a daytime job and we just have to get to and from through heavy traffic, and whether it even makes sense to drive a car like this. And, there's lots of great value in considering those thoughts. For me, I just decided that on the other side of it, instead of worrying about all that ho-hum and just driving a piece of garbage car around, why not drive the great car? Sure, maybe there's a bit of a novelty that wears off after a while, but that's okay. At the end of the day, you get to really enjoy the experience at any opportunity at the drop of a hat. So maybe 90% of your commute is ho-hum and boring, and so that's always something that I've always considered. Why bother drive a fast car on your day-to-day commute? True, 80% of it, 90% of it is just lollygagging around, putzing through traffic, and all that good stuff. But every once in a while, it depends on your commute. I know where I drive, typically there's always an opportunity or two to get out on the open freeway, and you get that great freeway on-ramp experience where you can just open it up. Not only that, it's the dynamic, it's the overall look and the feel of the car. You've got the steering commitment there, you've got all this different shiftability here, and the sound. I mean, you can engage your dynamic mode here. There's a lot of great things that you can do on and off, just enjoy it even in the moment. And see, there's a clown. You got a clown like that who just runs a red light, but you'll always have that. So there's always a risk, sure, of your car, maybe being involved in an altercation, but you can't worry about that. Get insurance for your car. The other thing is to wear and tear, and a lot of people are concerned about that, and I appreciate that. Tracking your car is the hardest thing for your car, of course. But I mean, that's the most extreme expression of enjoyment of these cars. They're performance machines, and really, if you want to get the most out of them, take them to the track once in a while. Now, I haven't yet done that with this car. I've been out to the track lots in the past, but the F-Type's never been to the track just yet, and we'll see as time goes on. But I can appreciate, the concern about wear and tear, and taking your hot rod out every single day. Of course, you'll definitely wear out brakes and tires. If you're using Z-rated rubber, for example, you might only get 25,000 kilometers versus using some generic, kind of run-of-the-mill all-season tires on your day-to-day grind mobile. You might be able to get 100,000 kilometers out of a set of skins. So there's no question, running costs can run up 25, 50, 75%, maybe 100% more than you're used to in an average vehicle. Absolutely you can. But we also don't know how long we're going to be around for. I mean, especially with what's going on today in the world, and it's a day-to-day life. And it's not about getting down on it. It's about, enjoying life even more. And honestly, this whole world crisis is putting us in a position where it puts it all in perspective. So I'm just of a believer that you've got a car like this, why not enjoy every single minute of the day? Instead of waiting for that Sunday afternoon drive, maybe you can get in and out of it every single day. And sure, maybe there's only one or two good blasts where you can use it, but maybe you got that upgraded stereo system. Maybe you got that little on-ramp where you can just give it a boost. Maybe you've got that traffic circle where you can kind of give it some gusto through there. There's always little opportunities without exceeding the speed limit, and certainly without breaking any serious laws. You can still enjoy these cars even in certain parts of traffic. So another way that you can drive these cars and have some peace of mind is get one with some warranty. Now, while there's a lot of value on the older models for sure, because they've come so far down in value, there's always still a little bit of an inherent risk. I mean, they are expensive British sports cars, and I don't think the reputation for reliability has necessarily always been there for these British sports cars, although they are getting better. There's no question in my mind. Everything I've seen in recent years suggests that they are getting better. But if you're worried about breaking parts, buying a car like an F Type, buy a car with some warranty. You buy either brand new, or you buy a car that's maybe a year or 2 years old, and then you can get one with some warranty, get an additional CPO warranty on it, and you can drive around, rip it up for the next 3 to 4 years with that peace of mind, knowing that, if a supercharger pops, or there's a differential failure, or there's some other catastrophic failure, or even minor failures, that the dealer should have you covered, and you're not going to worry too much about it. I mean, after all, you look around, there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, you look at that rising vent system there in the middle. You've got a lot of other features on here. Of course, some digital display action, lots of electrics everywhere. There's a lot of potential for failure, not to mention the output that these cars produce creates more strain. So I get people are concerned about driving a British sports car anyway, and let alone daily, but I'm here to show you that, and I'm here to prove to you guys that it can be done. And I'm daily driving my F Type, and I'm going to share with you guys what the long-term experience looks like. Now, I've had the car for about 6 months, and so I think I'm in a pretty good place to comment. In 6 months, every single day this car has pretty much been on the road. Sometimes I drive it hard, sometimes I just drive it in a kind of a cruising fashion. Whatever that looks like, I'm always in this car. And the wear and tear I find is minimal. I mean, the tires are slowly wearing, but I find the bolsters doing really well. You look at those seat bolsters, and overall these cars are holding up really, really well. Not only that, other than it's a little heavy on fuel, particularly if you're really on the throttle regularly, you're going to use a little more gas, a little more tire. Even with all-wheel drive, you always seem to eat a little more rear tire for sure. That's just maintenance. But repairs, get yourself a good warranty and you won't have a problem. But it's truly moments like this why we drive these cars. Wow, that thing is incredible. When they say 0 to 60 miles an hour in about 3.6 seconds, I have little reason to doubt that. This car pulls. And actually, I could feel the rear tire spinning a little bit. I could feel it breaking loose, hence the rear tire wear. But you know what? I don't drive it like that every stop and go, but it's those moments in time where you can capitalize on that wonderful experience, put your foot into it a little bit, get that real rev of the engine. It's incredible. There's nothing like it, guys. Even the modern BMWs are so fast, but because the turbochargers take so much of the noise out of the exhaust, you do lose some of the essence. Sure, they put it down aggressively. Try a new M5 competition, and trust me when I say that thing pulls like a train. It's a brutal machine. And I still think the current M5 competition is literally one of the best, outside of course the E60 M5, which I still believe is the best car. Not necessarily the fastest or the most reliable, but certainly the most engaging and the most interesting, and likely going to be the most sought after M5 of all time in a few years. But with all of that said, it's those experiences, those special cars that bring that, and this car has that. Then a lot of the modern cars with turbochargers, they're so muffled you can't even hear the engine, or barely. And not only that, there's so much digital going on, you lose some of the essence. These F-Type Jags are still a little bit old school, and that's what really makes it that exciting. Again, all I can say is, don't worry about the repairs, because if you've got warranty, you'll cover that. Maintenance, sure, it's going to be a little higher, absolutely, if you daily drive it. If you're putting 30,000 kilometers on a year, you're going to wear and tear. You're going to certainly put tires and brakes on it fairly regularly, and I would anticipate those sorts of costs. $3,000 for a set of skins on this car. But outside of that, do your oil changes, and the rest of it is history. If there's something break, let the CPO warranty cover it for you. Really, life is just too short to drive boring cars, and that's why I really can't emphasize enough that get in one of these cars. Get in anything. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you like that Camaro, if you like that Mustang, maybe you like your Jag, how about your Corvette, maybe your Ferrari. Take it out. Use it more regularly. Maybe it's not always super practical to do so, but use them anyway. Remember, we don't know what the last day looks like or when that's going to be. So just let's get in behind the wheel, enjoy it for what it is, and look at the road ahead. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video, but be sure, click on the link over there. I talked about all the problems you can expect with an F-Type. It's pretty typical, and most of the cars often find those sorts of scenarios at some point in their life. So check that out. You're going to like that video. And as well, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'd really love you guys to keep coming back. And here, if you guys have any ideas for videos, let me know. Drop a line in the comment section. Hope to hear from you next time. See you then. Bye-bye.